Have you ever wondered if the greatest repository of ancient knowledge was deliberately torched to erase secrets that could change the world forever? Stay tuned into the mystery of the Library of Alexandria. Welcome back to the Jeremy Ryan Slate Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Ryan Slate, the CEO and co-founder of Command Your Brand. We help our clients to make the biggest impact on the biggest podcasts. Get our free podcast guesting resource over at commandyourempire.com. Reminder, if you're brand new to this channel, to like this video, leave us a comment, or smash that subscribe button. And today, we're unraveling one of history's greatest tragedies, the mystery of the Library of Alexandria. Was it a history erased? Well, if you're like me, with a podcast background where I've interviewed historians, politicians, and the like, you know these stories aren't just about dusty books. They're about power, control, and what gets hidden from us. So picture this. In the 3rd century BC, in the vibrant city of Alexandria, Egypt, a library rises up, holding up to 700,000 scrolls, the sum of human knowledge, from math to medicine, philosophy to poetry. Then, over centuries, it's destroyed by fire, war, or decree. For ages we've asked, accident or an intentional erasure? Did rulers burn it to suppress dangerous ideas like advanced tech or forbidden truths? And here's why I find this fascinating. As someone who'd always pursued historical angles with a conspiratorial blend, the Library of Alexandria represents the ultimate what if in history. What knowledge was lost that could have accelerated humanity, and who benefited from its disappearance? Today, we'll dive deep into verifiable history, names, dates, places from sources like Britannica, Live Science, and World History Encyclopedia, while blending plausible conspiracies that'll make you question official narratives. We're going to keep it as balanced as possible, grounded as much in history as we can, but also spark imagination. And stick around, because modern scholarship might reveal if any remnants still survive or the erasure was total. This episode's paced for a thorough explanation, so stay tuned. All right, to understand the Library of Alexandria, we have to go back to the aftermath of Alexander the Great's conquests. Alexander, the Macedonian king, born in 356 BC and died in 323 BC in Babylon, leaving his empire to his generals. On his deathbed, when asked who he left his empire to, he said the strongest, which could have been his biggest mistake. One of them, Ptolemy I Soter, a childhood friend and a trusted commander, seized Egypt and founded the Ptolemaic dynasty in 305 BC. He declared himself pharaoh, ruling from Alexandria, the city Alexander founded in 331 BC on the Mediterranean coast, near the Nile Delta. Ptolemy I, ruling until 282 BC, envisioned a center of learning to legitimize his Greek rule over Egypt and attract scholars. He established the Museum, dedicated to the Muses, Greek goddesses of the arts and sciences, as a research institute. The library was part of this, likely starting around 290 BC under his son Ptolemy II Philadelphus, who ruled from 283 to 246 BC. The Ptolemies aimed for universal knowledge, collecting scrolls from across the known world. Ships docking in Alexandria's harbor were searched, books found were copied, originals were kept, and the fakes were returned. By Ptolemy III Euclid, ruling from 246 to 222 BC, the collection swelled to perhaps 400,000 scrolls. In the main library at the royal palace, plus 42,800 in the daughter library at Serapeum Temple. Alexandria became the intellectual hub of the Hellenistic world. And a note about the word Hellenistic, the Greeks called themselves Hellenes, so anything Greek is called Hellenistic. It blended Greek, Egyptian, Persian, and Indian ideas. As a podcaster who's discussed ancient wonders, I see this as a golden age of curiosity. A TED Talk of antiquity, if you'll have that. Conspiratorially, did the Ptolemies hoard knowledge for power? Some suggest they suppressed rival texts to control narratives. It's plausible given dynastic politics. This era set the stage for brilliance, so let's meet the minds behind it. The library wasn't just storage, it was a think tank, housing scholars who lived, ate, and worked there. And it was funded by the Ptolemies. Demetrius of Phalerum, an exiled Athenian statesman, organized it around 285 BC per Live Science. He cataloged works systematically, a precursor to modern libraries. How about the key figures? Euclid, around 300 BC, wrote Elements, the foundational math text providing geometry theorems which are still taught to students today. Then, Eratosthenes of Cyrene, a chief librarian around 245 BC, calculated Earth's circumference with astonishing accuracy, about 24,860 miles, which is close to the modern 24,901, using shadows in the wells of Sin, now Aswan, and Alexandria. He also mapped the world and sieved primes. Archimedes of Syracuse, visiting around 287 to 212 BC, developed physics principles like buoyancy, that eureka moment in the bath. Callimachus of Cyrene, a poet and cataloger, created the Heinocles, a 120-volume bibliography and the first library catalog. The collections, well, the Greek classics like Homer's epics and Aristotle's work, which were brought there by his heirs, Egyptian medical texts, Babylonian astronomy, even Buddhist sutras from India. Translations boomed. The Septuagint, the Greek Old Testament, which was commissioned here around 250 BC. From my perspective, this screams innovation. Like ancient Silicon Valley, conspiratorially, did they uncover lost tech, like the Antikythera mechanisms, and hide it? It's plausible given secretive scholarly circles. So comment below. Who's your favorite ancient scholar from Alexandria and why? Let's discuss it in the comments. I always enjoy your picks. The library's decline wasn't one event. It was a series of blows, spanning centuries. First in 48 BC, during Julius Caesar's civil war. Supporting Cleopatra VII, Caesar besieged Alexandria. To block Ptolemy's fleet, he set fire to ships, and the blaze spread to docks and warehouses, possibly burning 40,000 scrolls, which were destined for export. This is per Plutarch and Cassius Dio, ancient historians cited in Britannica. Not the main library, but a hit. Next, around 270 to 275 AD, during Emperor Aurelian's conquest of the Palmyran Empire under Queen Zenobia, the Breukelon district housing the main library was razed. And this is per historian Aemanius Marcellus. Then, in 391 AD, Emperor Theodosius I decreed against paganism, and Patriarch Theophilus of Alexandria led mobs to destroy the Serapeum, the daughter library. This was witnessed by Rufinus and Socrates Scholasticus. But there's no mention of books burning, but likely losses. Finally, around 642 AD, Arab conquest under Caliph Umar, but this is the tale of ordering books burned if contrary to the Quran. And this comes from 13th century sources, but has been debunked by modern scholars at Live Science as legend, not fact. As for the gradual decline, funding cuts under Roman rule, and scrolls decaying or moved. Personally, this feels to me like slow motion tragedy, knowledge slipping away. Conspiratorially, were these accidents cover-ups for targeted erasures? Some speculate that Caesar burned rivals' intel. So why the obsession with erasure? Well, theories swirl, and let's unpack them as best we can here. A bit of conspiracy, a bit of history, and some fun. So first, political suppression. The Ptolemies and Romans controlled knowledge to maintain their power. And per World History Encyclopedia, rival schools were marginalized. It's a plausible conspiracy, but specific texts on democracy or tech were destroyed to prevent uprisings. Second, religious motives. Christian leaders like Theophilus saw pagan works as threats. The Seraphim's fall aligned with edicts. Did they target heretical books? This is echoed in later book burnings. And third, hidden survival. Some scrolls may have been smuggled to Constantinople or to Baghdad. The House of Wisdom in 8th century Baghdad, which translated Greek texts, is perhaps from Alexandrian refugees. This is plausible as trade routes preserved fragments. It's a bit speculative, but looking at esoteric knowledge here, the theories of the Hermetics, which are hiding alchemy or astronomy, could have been suppressed by elites. So how about some modern parallels here? This is like the Vatican archives hiding secrets. There's no evidence, but it does fuel debates. So what do you think about these theories? Accidental loss or deliberate erasure by the powerful? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and I might feature them on a follow-up episode on this topic. The library's ghost lingers. Its model inspired modern institutions, like the Library of Congress. In 2002, the Bibliotheca Alexandria opened on the original site of the previous library, a $220 million marvel holding millions of books per UNESCO heritage. How about recent digs? Underwater archaeology in Alexandria's harbor by Frank Gaudio in the 1990s uncovered Ptolemaic ruins, but no library remnants. And this is per National Geographic. Scrolls from Herculaneum, which were buried by Vesuvius in 79 AD, are being virtually unrolled with AI, revealing lost texts, echoing what Alexandria might have held. Is history erased? Well, scholars like Lucanio Cafora argue much survived through copies. Conspiratorially, why is there no full recovery? Well, perhaps elites guard the secrets still to this day. It's speculative, but it is intriguing. As I wrap this up, and here's why I'm hooked. In my podcast experiences, stories like Alexandria remind us. Knowledge is fragile, and it's powerful. What was lost shaped our world, and what remains inspires. So thanks for joining me on the Jeremy Ryan Slate Show. In this episode, if your curiosity was ignited, hit that subscribe button, like, and share, and head over to jeremyryanslate.com for more history with a twist, podcasts, and everything else. So what do you think? What was erased, or was it? What can we find, or what's still out there? Comment below. I want to hear from you. Until next time, keep digging, keep questioning, and I'll catch you on the next episode of the Jeremy Ryan Slate Show.